Hello everyone, this is the G Suite Wizard and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about Google Forms, a survey administrative software that is provided by Google. This will be my fourth video in the Google Applications introductory videos. And if you want to learn more about the different applications, please do visit my channel. Google Forms is one of the free applications provided by Google for its users. And forms are mainly used for data collection, surveys, quizzes, exams, etc. and etc. So without much delay, let's get into it. Here you can see the home page of a form. You can look into different templates that are already there, or you can create a new form. So form is basically where you want to get the responses from your users or from your employees or from your friends or anybody, any target audience, and you will give a set of questions and few options, or you can leave a blank choice and they will input their answer and you will be able to see what they've put. Okay, so let me just create the form. This is the form name, and I can add a form description. I can tell the users who are going to fill this form what is this form is really about. So I have given a sample description. Let us just go ahead and add questions. So I can see that this is the space given for question. I'll put a question, let's say, what is your, right? And if you see, it has all magically changed, right? Question types magically update based on your questions. So what it does is, based on your question, it will give a suitable option or a type of answer that the users can fill. So these are the choices that we have for the users to respond. We can go with a short answer, a paragraph, or a multiple choice. I'll show you all of this. Okay, let's just put short answer for now. Then there is insert image option. I can put any image for this question. So when I insert an image, right, this is how I'll be able to see that image, just in case you want some additional information for your users. You can do this, or you can just remove it. You can remove it by going to the left and removing it. All right, then I have a duplicate. When I click on duplicate, what happens is the same question gets duplicated. Okay, and then I have a delete. I can delete this question if it is not required. Then I have a required toggle. This toggle, when it's turned on, your users or your target audience, they will be asked to answer that question no matter what. If they do not answer that question, they will not be able to submit the form. Then when you click on these three buttons, there are two more options that is given. One is description, one is response validation. So if I click on description, I can give a description for this question. Then there is response validation. I will show you what response validation is in later part of this video. Then I have add question. All right. Previously, what we have done is we have duplicated the question. Right now, I'm going to add the question. Okay. Then a new tab has come. Then I also have import questions. I can import the questions from a different form. Say there are different forms already. Right now, there's only one form. But let's say there are different forms and there are questions you want to import from that form. You can just select that form and you will get the questions from there. So right now I've chosen the same form. So you can see the questions over here. And when I select a question and import it, you can see that that question has been imported. So let me just delete this to avoid confusion. Then we have add title and description. When I click on add title, let's say this is a test. Okay, so it's just a title where after I add this, I add a question. You will just be able to read this. There is nothing to respond over here. It is just for the respondents to see it and understand if any further information is required. Okay, let me create a question here. So as you can see, this has again put it in a short answer. What we'll do is we'll change it to multiple choice. Okay, and we can give certain choices that the respondent can choose from. Let me add Google Forms. And also I can put a other option just in case there's some other option that the respondent can choose from but we have not added. Okay, then this is the same add image option that we find over here. Then I'm going to put this as required. Then there's the add video. I can also add a video just like I add an image. Okay, then this is a section. I can add a different section. I'll show you what section does. So when I click on add a section, right, it gives a new section. Okay, let's say details about. Now I have added a description and a title as well. Now let me just go ahead and see the options over here. I have a duplicate section. I can create the same section again. I can move the section. If there are multiple sections, I can move the section up and down. So if you see, this is the section 1 out of 2. This is section 2 out of 2. Then there's a delete section, and I can also merge the section with the above one. So this will all the questions in here will just become a continuation of the questions that we find over in the first section. Then let me just add a question. So I have added a question, and let us check the next type of format in the response. There's a checkbox. Let's put checkbox. Okay, and I am also adding other, and I'll click on required. Let me add another section. All right, I have added a question, and let me put a different type of answer here. There's a drop down. I can give different options. Then let me add one more question. Okay, so right now I have put a rate word in this, so it automatically went to a rating scale, and I have options from 0 to 5. Then let me add one more question, and let me choose multiple choice grid. So you see that there are rows and columns here. So what this does is it gives in a multiple grid. I can choose different options for different questions in a single question. Okay, let's put few more options. And in columns, let me just put different rating. And I'll put require a response in each row. Okay, so right now there are different sections. I'll show you what response validation was about. So when I click on response validation, right? Sorry. So when I click on response validation over here, I'll be able to prompt the respondent to give the answer within certain parameters that I choose from. Okay. So when I ask what is your name, I can tell the person to give a number or give a text. Let's say I give a text, and let's say it contains or doesn't contain. I can give a different parameters to choose from. Okay, let's say I ask contains. Okay, and text, let's say name. So this person has to put an answer which contains name in the text. Then if you see in a multiple choice, there's a different option called go to section based on answer, and also a shuffle option order. You can give this shuffle option order in case you're putting a quiz or an exam to your students or your respondents. So when I go to section based answer, right, you can see that there are different options given. So I can choose from different options. So what happens is, let's say when the user or the respondent chooses Google Form in the choice and clicks on the next, what happens is he goes to the section that we choose over here. Let's say I tell him to go to details of G Suite, and for Sheets, let's say I'll ask him to go to Google Sheets, and for Gmail, let's say I ask him to go to details about G Suite application, and for others I can say submit the form. All right, so you need to understand the flow of the questions in your form. Okay, when you're asking a person to go to section 2, the form will take him to section 2, but once he answers this, it is up to you again to either send him to the next section, continue to the next section, or ask him to go to a different section, or you can directly ask him to submit the form. Okay, let's just submit the form instead of going to the next section, because this section is only for Google Sheets, let's say that. Okay, so these are the questions I have for right now. In this, what I can do is, there are themes that I can choose from. Let's say I put a green theme, right? And I can put a header in case I want. Then there is a preview. You will be able to see the preview of the form, how it looks. So as you can see, you are only able to see the first section. So that is how your respondent will see your form, right? He will not see all the sections. He will only see the first section, and based on your answers, based on the form, he will progress through the Google form. So next thing is our settings. Let's go into settings. We have a few settings that we can work around with. We have collect emails option, where once enabled, you will be able to collect the emails of the respondents. For this, the respondents should be logged in with their Gmail account before filling the form. Okay. Now, if I click on response receipts, what happens is, once the respondent fills it and submits the form, he will get the responses that he has filled to his email. Okay. So again, I can say that if only if respondents request it, or always, and then I can also limit the response to only one response. Okay, just in case if you want somebody to fill it only once and not multiple times, you can check this option. Then we have edit after submit. Let's say you have filled the form and you realized, and you get the response receipt, and then you realize that there was one question that you have answered incorrectly. You can come back to the form and you can edit it. That is what edit after submit means. This can be done by respondents itself, and then they can also see the text responses and summary charts. Let's not do that for now. And then I have presentation. So I can show the progress bar. So let's say they have answered one question out of 10 questions. It will show that 10% is completed. Let me just enable this. Shuffle question order. You can shuffle question order in case if it's a quiz or an exam. Right now, let's not do it. This is the confirmation. We can put our personalized confirmation message over here. So this option is especially for quizzes only. I can make this as a quiz. What quiz does is, it will assign points to the questions and allow auto grading. So right now, let's not go into quiz. I'll show you quiz in the later parts of my forms videos. So as you can see, we have not asked email in the first, but it is taking the email. So let me just preview it. You will be able to see the email option as well here. Then I have send option. What send does is, I can send this form via email or create a link. I can shorten the link just in case if you feel that the link is too lengthy and too bulky and you want to shorten it. The form is giving you an option to shorten the URL. Now you can copy this and send to your respondents and they can fill the form. Then we also have embedded HTML link. You just need to embed this into your website, and once they click on that, they'll be redirected to this form. Then we have share options, share on Facebook and share on Twitter. That is pretty self-explanatory. Okay. And then I have add collaborators. What add collaborators does is it is similar to add editors in your Google Sheets, right? You can add a collaborator. What collaborator can do is he can edit the questions, change the questions, see the responses, whatever access that you have as a owner, he will be able to see that. Then if I click on here, there are few more options that I get. One is undo. There is an undo button in case you want to undo a previous change. Make a copy. What make a copy does is it will exactly copy this or duplicate this whole form and give you as a new form. Then I can delete it. Then I can also get a pre-filled link. What pre-filled link does is you can give certain answers for the questions which will be standard or which will be default, and your respondents, if you think all your respondents are going to give the same answer, let's say everybody is going to put it as Gmail, you can put it as Gmail, and you can choose any other options or any other answers and then get link. You click on get link, and what this link does is, let's say I will choose this, okay, and then I'll click on get link. Okay, now I have shared this link to include pre-filled responses. If I copy this link and let me just paste it in a new tab. So you see that this answer is coming as a pre-filled option. Okay, so that is how you get a pre-filled link. Then I have a print option and add collaborators. I've already told you. Script editor is again a coding platform given by Google just in case to connect all your applications. I'll be talking about script editors in my later videos. Script editor is one of the most useful application in all of these applications. You just need a little bit of coding knowledge and you will be able to do wonders with script editors. Then we have add-ons. Add-ons are like third-party softwares that we can integrate into forms. You know, there are a lot of add-ons that we can do. Each add-on has its own specialty. Each add-on has its own functionality, right? So if you want an add-on, you can look into all of these. Then lastly, we have preferences. What preferences does is this is the default setting. So any form that I create with this account, all these default settings will be copied. So if I say collect emails, if I create a different form, this collect emails option that we have seen in settings will be automatically checked and it will collect the emails. So it is similar for quizzes as well. Then I will show you one more type of question that I have not showed you till now. I'll just add a question. So right now we have covered short answer. Paragraph is nothing but a short answer which will have multiple lines. Multiple choice we have covered. Checkbox, drop down we have covered. Linear scale, multiple grid. Multiple checkbox is also the same thing as multiple grid. Whereas in multiple choice grid, you will only be able to choose one option. So let's say I go here, I will be able to choose only one option for this. Okay, whereas if I put it as a checkbox, I will be able to choose multiple options for that. Then we have date and time. Okay, so I have not covered file upload, date and time. Let me click on file upload. So what file upload does is, if you want respondents to upload a file or upload a document, they will be able to upload their files over here. Let's say you are doing a campaign for collecting your resumes and you request your respondents to give you their resumes. Okay, so what you do is you click on file upload, then we'll put a question that now what they will see is, okay, I need to upload a resume. I can also limit this to certain specific file types. Okay, or I can ask them to, instead of resume, I can ask them to give their introductory video. So that time they'll put it as a video. So that case you can, limit to the specific file types. Right now I'm not going to do it. Then maximum number of files we can limit to 1, 5 or 10, and also maximum file size, and we'll put this as required. Okay, so what view folder does is, if I click on view folder, it will take me to the folder in which all these files get uploaded. Okay, so once you add a collaborator, okay, let's say I add a collaborator, going over here and I add a collaborator, he can change all of the settings, but he will not be able to see the folder because this folder does not have permission for that person. Okay, we have to come over here and share this file again to that collaborator in case if he wants to see the resumes that were uploaded. Okay, so all of the questions he will be able to access, the responses he will be able to access, but not the uploaded files, right? Then lastly, we will come to date and time. It is pretty self-explanatory. Let's say here he can choose a date. Okay, I'll put this as required. I can either put it in a date or a time format. It will just take only those inputs. So that's it. I have created a form right now. Let's go and check out how this form is looking. So this is my form and email. Let me just put the same email. What's your name? So as you can see, we have put a conditional formatting or a response validation where the input should contain the word name. Okay, so I'm going to delete this and then I'm going to click my favorite is G Suite application. So it's still showing the same error. What I can do is I'll just put this as capital N. My favorite application is G Suite. My favorite G Suite application is Google Forms. I'll click on next. So if you see after this question, there's this section which we have come to right now. Okay, what do you like the most about G Suite? Let's say cloud storage, and then I am going to submit it. I will not be able to see this section because I have completely put submit form over here, and from here the response validation or section based questions I've sent Google form to the second section. That's why it's gone to the second section, and after second section I've put that the respondent should submit the form and they do not go to the third section. So I'll just submit the form. Okay, now I can either edit the response or submit another response. So let me just submit another response. Now I'll put Google Sheets and let's see what happens. So when I clicked on Google Sheets, it has omitted the second section, which asks us about the details of G Suite application, and it has taken us directly to Google Sheets section, which is the third section. Okay, and here I have few more questions. How often do you use? I say every day, every week. How would you rate your Google Sheets? I say 4. And here I can put, okay, then upload your resume. So what I'll do is I'll just drag it from my computer and paste it over here. So you see that I have uploaded a file. I'll just upload it. I'll select a date of birth, submit. So right now, as you can see, I've submitted 2 responses. And when I come to my form, so there's a difference between this form and this form. So this is how your respondents will see it. They'll not be able to see this button as well. This is because I have signed in with my email ID and this form is also in the same email ID. I am able to see this edit the form. Once I click on the edit option, I'll be transported back to the edit version of the form. Okay, and if it is for somebody else, let me just open this in a incognito. Okay, so I'll not be able to fill this form because I have asked them to collect the emails option where you are required to sign into Google, and this is where you will be able to make the edits, and this is the form that respondents see, so you'll not be able to make any edits here as well. Okay, now if I go to the responses, if I want to see the responses that was created, I can see the respondents who has responded. Okay, So I have responded 2 times, so it has put 1 on this. And these are the responses. What is your name? My name is Chisud. Because I've put the same thing, it is coming as 2 responses. And then what is your favorite G Suite application? One time I've put Google Forms, one time I've put Google Sheets. So it has put 50-50% for each of the answers. So it will give you a chart based on the answers. If you want to see the answers particularly, okay, and so all of these charts are very useful when you want to do some data analysis. But if you want to see the responses in a sheet format, what we can do is I can click on create a spreadsheet. So this is the most important part of your response destination. What happens is when you create a form for the responses to be put up in a structured way, you would need a sheet, right? So Google Form is giving us an option to connect it with a Google Sheet where all the responses will come in the Google Sheet. Right now I can create a new sheet or select an existing spreadsheet. So let me just go with the create new spreadsheet. I'll show you how to embed or how to connect the form to an existing spreadsheet in my later videos. Let me just create a spreadsheet. So as you can see that a spreadsheet has been created. So here if you see there are different options again. I can select a response destination, which I've done right now, or I can unlink the form. So what unlink form does is it will unlink the form from this sheet. Okay. As you can see here, this is the notification, or this is the symbol that is given by Google Form stating that this is our form responses sheet, which will automatically update. Okay. When you create a new sheet, you will not get that symbol. As you can see, there's a symbol, form symbol here, and there's no symbol over here. Okay. Then I have get email notification for, so every time there's a new response, you'll get an email notification. Then I have download responses. When I click on download responses, what it does is it will download all these responses in a CSV format. I can also delete all responses or print all responses. Now going to the sheet, I can see who all have responded and what are the responses. So timestamp is something that Google Forms automatically puts it into your response. It is the time that you have submitted the form. Okay. Then this is the email address that was asked in the starting, the name. What is your favorite G Suite application? First, I have chosen Google Forms. The next time I've chosen Google Sheets. Then cloud storage. If you see, there is a gap. So what happens is, in case of a section based form, right? All the responses that you get in the sheet are according to the sections. Okay. So till here was our first section. G Suite application, favorite G Suite application is our first section's last question. Then we have the second section with one question. Okay, so till E is our second section, and then after that it will be the third section. So even if you answer with Google Sheets, as you can see, this response is coming to the question that it was assigned to and not over here. So all of these will be blank and all of these will be blank. Okay, so that you will have a better understanding of which section ends where and which question belongs to which section. Okay. Now, as people fill up your response or people fill up your form, the responses keep coming over here. All right. And I can also see the document that was uploaded and also the date of birth. Okay. And what happens is you can also add different columns over here for your manual purpose or manual calculation if you want to do anything. But all the columns till first to L will be fixed, and it is not suggested that you change any of this, because even if you change this, the response will still come over here. Okay. And coming to the next part, when let's say I add a question, right? So let me just put here test column. right? I put a column name after this, but after a few days or after a couple of responses, I see that okay, there should be one more question that I need to put into this. Okay, now let's say I put it in the second section. Okay, so there's a what is Gmail question. Let it be as a short answer, and now it is saved. Okay, now I'm going to write a response for this. Let's say Google Form, so that I can go to the second section. Let's say intuitive. Other I can put what is Gmail. Okay, when I click on submit, right? So what happened over here is I added a question in the section 2. Okay, so the columns were fixed for the questions that were previously there, but when we added a new question, what it does is it added a column at the end of the form. So till here was our previous form, then it added a column after this. Even though when we put test column previously, it has inserted a column between that and the last question and inserted the new question over here, and all the answers will come over here. So this is the disadvantage with Google Form, where if you add a question in the later part or if you add a question after somebody has responded to your form, it will add those questions at the end of your section. You need to keep that into your mind. So I think I've covered most of Google Forms. This is just the basics of a Google form, how we use a Google form. But if you want to learn more about how we can connect Google Forms to different type of applications, how we can automate a process and learn all the things that are there about Google Forms, just go and visit my channel, subscribe to my channel, and you will get all the wonderful lectures about different applications. Thank you guys and have a good day.